What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Or should I say what happened, what happened, what happened, what happened, what happened, what happened to our teams? None of us have a horse in this race for today's episode. Welcome, boys and girls, men and women all over the land. Welcome to Brooklyn Biz and Ball Sports Show. And we are your host.
Did y'all see that?
Did y'all see that?
Don't do it.
Wait. I think I see Alvin Kamara still running. I can't help it, guys. Did y'all see that? Help me, guys. He's still running. He's still running. I can't get it out of my head. It's bad visions, guys. Listen, today we're going to talk about the bad things we saw this past weekend. We all are holding an L today. Don, Scrap, myself, Brooklyn Beards and Ball, we are in the building. Listen, we got a whole lot to say about the poor performances and the outcomes of our team, results, and we're going to talk about it today. We all going to take a stab at our own team. We ain't even got to hit each other up today and really do anything bad to one another because we're going to do it to ourselves, but you can expect a jab or two. We'll be certainly, corroborating all that is said. But before we get into this fire show today, we need y'all to do us a favor. Like, subscribe, share, make sure all those on Facebook, all those on YouTube, wherever you at, listen, we appreciate the love and the support. We're going to talk about it today. Don's going to talk about all the big injuries to key personnel, and Scrap's going to talk about what not to do on 3rd and 3. And I'm going to talk about Shanahan and Sons because we clearly can't beat anybody that comes out the Shanahan camp. But we're going to talk about it even the more. So, fellas, Don, Scrap, what's up, guys? How y'all feeling, man, on this loser Tuesday?
Listen, we lost. We did take an L, but I'm pretty encouraged by what I saw. Ultimately, I think, given the situation of our team, it's only week 2. At the end of the day, it's only week 2. I don't think Sunday's loss is indicative of who we are as a team, and we'll talk about that a little more. But some things that I'll say this. Well, I'll save it because I'll save it. But I'll give Scrap. What are your opening words before we cut into the show?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Oh man. Okay.
Oh, that was great. That's classic. Classic Scrap. That was classic.
Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so we got 3 teams, distinctive teams, all with catching L's. We got, unfortunately, we had the 49ers lose, the Cowboys lose, and of course, last night, the Eagles lost. I'm going to start with the 49ers, talking about the 49ers. Mm-hmm. No, actually, we should talk in the order of the games that were played. So we'll start off with the Cowboys.
Well, Ryan, you played at 1 o'clock too, right? Didn't you have a 1 o'clock game as well? I mean, yeah. I think your game might have even started 30, 20 seconds before ours. If
so, let's go in order of last year how we finished.
Well, should we go in order?
Oh, you don't want to do
well, then that would be Scrap, right?
That would be Scrap first.
That would go first then.
How? We lost after you.
Well, you know what? Okay, I tell you what. I agree, Don. Let's go in order.
First. I don't mind going first, but what I'm saying, if we're gonna go in the order of carnage, then you should go first.
That is true. That is true. I agree. I definitely agree. And I want to get my whole soliloquy out the way. So this way I could just sit back and listen to y'all's misery and at least get some joy out of that. Misery loves company, right? So there is truth to that for us today. But listen, man, I want to tell you, Shanahan and Sons. Guys, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth, man. Oh boy, I don't even know how to commence these words right now. But I will say this. I'll start with the Saints very quickly. We didn't know what kind of team the Saints are, what kind of team they are, right? I think they beat a very bad Carolina team, but they did end the season well last year. I think they won 5 of their last 6 last year. They got a new, OC with Kubiak there now. And we know Kubiak. We all watched his dad play and under Mike Shanahan. And I think, Super Bowl champion. I think he was the backup to Elway. And, comes out of a very good system. He's the OC, and he's got Derek Carr looking amazing the first 2 weeks, right? The offense is explosive. They have a plethora of weapons. So much speed is on that team. It is really, really hard to contain and even know where to put your focus because so much weaponry that the Saints possess on the offensive side of the ball. And but I still felt like, okay, Dallas is home. We're going to see, we had a pretty convincing win. If you're really watching it with a magnifying glass, you really can't get too hyped on what Dallas did last week because when we were up by 2 touchdowns, we didn't run the ball effectively. We tried to see what we had in the running game, but clearly we had nothing. And then we ultimately saw with great evidence what we don't have. But it's all what all Cowboy fans knew, and even Cowboy haters knew that Dallas was coming into this season unprepared, okay? 2 glaring holes that we had, which was in the running game and in our defensive tackles, who actually didn't play too bad. They were getting blown off the ball, but where we got killed by the Saints was on the edge. We couldn't stop anybody on the edge. They ran left. They ran right. They went right. Then they went left, right, left, right. Wherever they wanted to go, either side of the field, they had their way. We couldn't stop them in any way, shape, or form. And it was just deplorable to see how bad we were, how beaten we were in terms of even when the game even started. And Scrap, in our chat, he said, look, y'all lost at the toss and pretty much at the coin toss, and we did. And you know what I thought about, Donald, and I cracked it to myself? When the Saints go down the field as just seamlessly as they did on the first drive of the game, I said to myself, this is going to be a game where we're going to see a lot of Dak with his mouth open. We're going to see that. We're going to see a lot of Dak.
So after that, you said when the Saints went marching in?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was the gospel.
It's not even that kind of day. It's not even that kind of day.
Well, I mean, right there. Yeah, you see that right there. I knew we were going to see that. Scrap and Don, it was going to be a problem because there's still lingering effect from the Green Bay game. This game was so reminiscent of that loss last year in the playoffs. Dallas, when we get punched in the mouth early and quick, we don't know how to recover. We panic. This team develops a level of anxiety where we just don't know what to do. And we knew that this was going to be a terrorizing, pulverizing game defensively. So what you would want to do with your $261 million quarterback is you say, okay, I'm going to have to put points on the board. I'm going to have to score because I know it's going to be a long day for this defense because the way these boys were moving, and I know Zim ain't got no counter attack for what he just saw. It's going to be a long day. We're going to have to get the ball in the end zone. But we couldn't. We could not find a way. We moved the ball, but once you get into the red zone, the calls are questionable. The CD touchdown was really more of a fluke than anything. They over pursued him. He was able to duck under 2 defenders. That was not anything that, even when he scored, that really didn't give me any confidence, any hope, because if we were going to win, it was going to take that kind of trickery or foolery or somebody making some crazy play for us to even have a chance to win. And that wasn't going to happen because the way those boys were flying around and playing defense, there was no way that we were going to be able to overcome. And Dak, he just couldn't. He had some bad throws. I'm not putting the loss on Dak. I don't think Dak played bad, but I don't feel that as an offense we were able to do much because there was no way we were going to stop the bleeding on the other side. They was going to keep scoring. They're still scoring now as we're doing this show. So what happens now is that, I mean, it was just another score. I just felt it in my spirit. Another score. Alvin Kamara just ran in the end zone while we're yet recording and streaming live here, fellas. That's how bad it was. So you were going to have to play catch up or make this game as respectable as possible. And maybe it would have given your defense some confidence if you're able to score. But we were not able to do that in the red zone. It was really, really bad. The play calling was bad. We have no running game. We can't counter anything. Tyler Guyton didn't play well. That's our left tackle, our first-round draft pick rookie. He looked really bad. Didn't play well. Played better last week. Didn't really play good this week. Our whole front line got pushed, got smashed. Demarion Overshown, who had 11 tackles last week. This is I really believe this guy is going to be a Pro Bowler. But why he didn't play, it only was in, I think, about 11 to 12 snaps in the game. Now, because he's not really a big linebacker, very fast, bigger than Bell, Marquise Bell, who was a safety that had come down. But Overshown also played safety. So he still has kind of like a safety body. I don't know if Zimmerman felt like the way that they was pushing us around, he wasn't going to bowl well. So they had Damone Clark in, who's a bigger back. But Clark never knows where to line up. He's always out of position. He hasn't played well since Van Der Esch got hurt because Van Der Esch would always, kind of help him be where he needs to be. But that linebacker play was bad. Micah was completely just out of it. Couldn't do anything because the way you neutralize the very good thing that Dallas does, which is their pass rush, you counter, you screen, you move the pocket. You don't sit back there and just wait for Micah and these guys to come after you. You have to move the pocket and you got to run away from where the pressure is going to come from. And they did that well, and they had the speed to do it. So, and again, and this is my last take I'm going to say on this, and I'm going to throw it back to you guys because the Cowboys really, really look bad, and there's so much more I could say. But we have not found a way. We being this coaching staff, Mike McCarthy, Zimmerman, Mike Zimmer, who is just as old as McCarthy is, and Zimmer does have a ring. He got one with the Cowboys. He was on Jimmy Johnson's staff years ago. But the truth is, and he's always been a good DC and had some good defenses in Minnesota. But the truth is, we have not figured out how to counter the offense of Shanahan. That's it. So when we lose to McVay, when we lose to McDaniels, when we lose to LaFleur, when we lose to Kubiak, we're losing to the 49ers. We're losing to Shanahan. Anybody that's coming out of Mike Shanahan's loins and in his coaching tree, we don't win. His daughters could have been coaching and we would have lost. His grandchildren could have been coaching and we would have lost. It would not matter. We cannot beat innovative offenses that have a lot of motion.
Right. Let me stop you for a second. Do you hear an echo?
Where?
I hear an echo. Do you guys, either one of you, have your phone up where the sound is bouncing off? I just hear an echo. Maybe it's just me. But go ahead.
I'll make sure my phone is down. I mean, I have it up, it's standing in my thing here, but I
my phone not even on.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. I was hearing an echo.
Okay.
But go ahead.
No worries.
You can't beat us. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah. That's why I was asking. We
and all of our
anything.
Right.
Shanahan's cousins, nephews, nieces, grandchildren, great-grands, as many as the Lord God calls. We can't beat none of them, okay? We are bad when it comes to innovative offenses. If an offense is generic and conventional, we will beat them. Our defense will look stellar.
But McCarthy comes from the West Coast offense, right?
Right, but defensively, we have no answer for that. We have no answer because McCarthy's an offensive-minded guy, and maybe your point is he should be able to help the defense try to counter that. But at the end of the day, the West Coast offense is a lot different than even what he was running and what he came up out of the Bill Walsh camp. What Walsh is running, because Walsh had again. He spread the offense around, but he didn't have as much motion as we see in the game today. I mean, you got Kamara actually last week against the Panthers, he ran 14 different routes. That's a running back running 14 different routes, not the same route 14 times or three routes or three variations of the same route 14 times. He ran 14 completely different routes. That's a lot of thinking to put into a play to have a running back run. You're going to run these 14 routes. For him to even remember what these routes are is amazing to me. And so we just don't have the ability to stop that. With like I heard somebody say, and I do agree with this. Somebody had a take on Twitter, one of the Cowboys shows, and I do agree with this. He had a small take. We're fake bullies, and I do agree with that. We will beat you up. If you're a bad team, like many of the teams we beat up last year and the team that we beat up after they lost to the 49ers and we beat them up, they're part of those teams that we would beat up pretty bad. And we would just go ahead and just show our stout. But when it comes against really, really good teams with this level of play and motion and teams that are going to run the ball, we can't win. So here's the thing. And okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah. Listen.
Shoe program.
Listen, that's all I'm going to say. And here in my close
3-hour lockdown.
Shoe program.
Right. Exactly. I'm going to say this and I'm going to pass it to Don, who's next on the schedule here. If you want to beat the Cowboys, all right,
You don't got to tell him how to beat the Cowboys. He knows how.
Well,
to
not now.
Right, exactly.
I mean, Scrap he might be able to use a little bit of because we know how on certain situations they kind of get the Eagles get confused on what play.
No, you're not. Neither. You're not going to do that.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. You're not going to do this. Just run the ball. Derek Carr threw 17 times in that game. I think 16. Yeah. Josh Allen threw 13 times when old boy ran all over us last year in Buffalo. So all I'm gonna say is that if you want to be the Dallas Cowboys, just open up the film, run right, run left, run right, and that's all you got to do. And you run the ball down our throat. No one has respect for our ends or our corners to tackle. And that's just what it was. We got a complete beatdown and got the bricks beaten off us. So that's all I got to say about my Dallas Cowboys. But it is okay. And we will still win our division. It's only week 2, as Don said in the beginning of the show before we started to get into it. It's only week 2. A lot of improvement to be made. But we'll see. But I saw a lot on Sunday, and it wasn't good.
So let me ask you a question before we move on. The improvement that needs to be made from the Cowboys, do you think, in order to, let's just say, start off with winning the division, do you think the Cowboys or the Eagles are closer to becoming a complete team to accomplish at least winning their division? Who do you say is closer? My personal opinion, I would give the edge to the Eagles only because they have the better personnel.
I think so too.
Because if, God forbid, if CeeDee Lamb gets hurt, I'm going to knock on wood.
Yeah,
God forbid if he gets hurt, it's over. It's a wrap.
No, it's completely over. It's completely. And Brooks was back, who tried to step in, the rookie. He was horrible. He played horrible. Yeah. And Dak had some horrible reads and going on 4th down. Why are you throwing it to Spanford? Your third option on the tight end, Spanford on a 4th down. I mean, the game was decided already, but still, it's bad. Brooks falling, tripping, got the interception.
At that point, they were just giving people reps. That's all. It was just an extension of preseason. It was an extension of preseason. That's all.
It pretty much was. But to answer your question, Donald, no, I will agree. I'm very objective. I think when you look on paper, the Eagles do have a better personnel. Now, the Eagles have a tendency to implode. And as we saw last night, which was evidence of that, which was just a page out of what they did from last year.
I object.
No, I'm just answering this question. I mean, he asked about the question. You and I are in the same division. So, the rivalry is a little bit more intense between you and I because of us being, division foes. But I will agree, though. I do think if all goes well, if every team was to play at their optimum best, I would say then the Eagles would probably have the edge. But the Cowboys and Eagles, when they meet up, it's, it just depends because, they could end up losing twice to us and still win the division because Dallas is going to mess up somewhere else down the line against somebody else. So,
well, week 8, we know that's a given. Week 8 is already going to have, you can mark that as a L already.
All right.
We know that.
Play again this year?
Well, we're talking about week 2. We're still talking about week 2. We're going to talk about week 2. Okay.
Well, you said that you could lose to them twice. I'm just trying to give
I'm just putting my answer in context to your question. Who will win the division? So if you're talking division, I got to, kind of mention the season in a sense. And so, that's why.
And week 8 is in that season, is it not?
But you know what, though? Hey, Ryan, when you were saying that they was going up and down, left and right, they was pretty much doing the code to contra on y'all. They got 30 men. Didn't they beat y'all by 30?
Well, pretty much it was.
C-SKRAPP.
I think it's not just running. I don't think it's just running. I think it's motion. I think it's motion also. I think it's not just running the ball against Dallas because I think if you are pretty pedestrian and you just hand the ball off, Dallas has enough that they can stop that. I think it's the motion and getting Micah out of a comfortable position where he can attack.
Correct.
That throws them off.
Yeah, it throws them completely off. And it throws off really great defenders because there are ways that I've seen teams try to do that with Nick Bosa. Doesn't always work. It doesn't work, and it's not as flawless as it is with Micah because you can get Micah spinning and doing a complete breakdancing almost with motion. Our team as a whole, if you try to motion away from Bosa, we have a way of corralling you back to bringing you back center.
Well, you have a better front 7, so your front 7
you have a better team.
Cover. We don't have our linebacking core is not great. We got a better back
team. You have a better team.
No, yeah. Your secondary is not great, D. Just like Scrapp's secondary.
You
is not
you have to have time.
Your front seven is good, but not your back end is your weakest link.
So what would you rather have? Let me ask you. Obviously, ideally, you would want all positions to be played well and stout, right?
Right.
But if you had a pass rush on a quarterback, what would you prefer? Your secondary to be really good, or your pass rush to be good?
Honestly, I would probably still. I mean, in our case, be honest, we both have my team has a pass rush, and we have a better secondary. So the weakest link for the Cowboys is in the middle. Our linebacking core and our DTs are not that good. But if you got good DTs, you can play with bad linebacker play if you had good defensive tackles.
Your skill positions are weak. I mean, there's a lot of weaknesses to the Cowboys.
No. I think when you look at our personnel on defense, the weakest link on our defense is outside of Micah on the second end. He's still more of a DN, but our linebackers are not great. Kendricks is okay. He's good. He was a Pro Bowl at one point in time. We still have to see. This is a new linebacker core for us, but that has historically in the last couple of years been somewhat of a weak position.
Y'all normally
for us.
have good linebackers. I mean, they always hurt, but y'all normally have good linebackers.
I mean, they
Vander Esch, but they always hurt.
Lee couldn't stay.
They always got diamond. They always on the sideline with diamond chains on. That's what they always do.
They was always hurt. They were the Debo of defense. They was just hurt all the time.
Look at that!
I'm just saying. I mean, you see this America? They come after me.
Look at this.
And the ref pushed you back. Keep those punches up.
Right, man. Look at this. Okay, cool. Okay.
We're supposed to be helping each other heal today, man. This is a healing.
No, he's not about that.
No. Y'all ain't trying to help me heal. With your little subliminal questions. Donald trying to throw in his little. Donald, do what he does with these. He gonna do it to you too, Scrap. You wait and see when it's your turn. I'm gonna throw you a little question. So, what do you think? Let me ask you a question. And when he says that,
what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring structure to the show so we have questions, because I'm sure people are going to want to know. All right, both of you are in the same division, right? So let me tell you a little bit about it. All right, our division, NFC West, Seattle's looking really good, right? Short-lived.
And Phoenix, Arizona, rather. I'm sorry.
Okay, so let me tell you about the Cardinals. The Cardinals start every season looking good. Kyler Murray's not going to make it past week 8. Guarantee. If I had a something to punch in, Charles Barkley saying guarantee, he always looks good. He's explosive. The little Mighty Mouse feet running real fast and throwing 70 yards. He always looks like that. Come week 8 or 9, the hair's going to be out. He's going to be on the sideline, probably with a switch playing on the sideline. He's not going to, I'm telling you.
He's going to get injured. Yeah.
Marvin Harrison
looked good on Sunday.
He looked exceptional. Exceptional. And McBride is a top 3. I'm putting him top 3 tight end because everyone always thinks that Kelsey can turn it on and off. Like, oh, Kelsey's just playing possum till the games matter. Kelsey is long in the tooth, and I think he's a little more focused on Taylor Swift than actually the game, right? Because I think he's more endorsement driven now. He's more, power couple driven. I don't think the hunger is there. At least it doesn't come off that way. Now, come the playoffs, like Gronk, like other, bona fide, stars, there's a way of them, of course, catching the catch that extends a drive or a touchdown in a clutch position. So I'm not saying he's not clutch. But what I'm saying is Arizona and Seattle, am I concerned about them now? The answer is no. It's too early in the season. Geno Smith is still Geno Smith. And now let me tell you, Kenneth Walker, their running back, is dealing with an oblique issue. Now, how long will that injuries, as I've said, and if people are just tuning in, injuries are the great equalizer. And if we see the way week 2 is kind of happened, where, not only skill position players, this is week 1, we had Love go down. Week 2, we have, of course, Tua. We have CMC that is he's been on, they put him on IR. You
Yeah.
got it. So we have those injuries, Debo, who's going to miss a couple of games with a calf strain. It happens. AJ Brown.
Honorable mention.
3 chains, 2 chains, blinked out on the sideline. I mean,
that's
so
what we do. That's what we do.
These players and skill positions,
and Ferguson too. Ferguson is a big loss for us. That's our Pro Bowl tight end. That was a big. Don't. Why you got to do that? Why you got to?
Come on, Ferguson.
I mean,
your team is
for the Cowboys. He's a Pro Bowl tight end,
and that's
nobody running on the team. That's a big loss for us.
That speaks of how bad.
So with him here, how many?
What do you mean how bad? He's a Pro Bowl tight end. What he can?
Okay, so you scored 19 points. How many would Ferguson add? How much? Because I can quantify.
Ferguson would at least gotten us 10 more points because now in the red zone he's effective in the red zone and he's a great tight end down the seat. He's a Pro Bowl tight end. What do you mean?
What does that mean, Rod? What does it
mean? So it means nothing to be in the Pro Bowl now.
It means something. It means something. But Ferguson doesn't move. So let me ask you something. Since you love to bring this up, do defenses focus on Ferguson? Because you said defenses don't focus on IU.
Actually, they do because he's their second best weapon behind CeeDee Lamb.
You're about to lose all credibility, Rod. Defenses focus on Ferguson? Are you serious right now?
You don't think the defenses focus on Ferguson?
Not.
He's the number. He's the second best option behind CD.
He's always open for a reason.
Oh my gosh. He's always open for a reason. Oh my God.
I
can't.
So Ferguson
he's always sneaking behind the defense for a reason.
So Ferguson by himself, you think that you guys would have scored 29 points, right? He would have added at least an additional 10 points.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. And he would have had at least a good maybe 6 catches or so, because that was where we had some opportunity, is in a seam and putting their linebackers in coverage. And certainly Ferguson would have exploited that. Once he got hurt, that was it. We really didn't have much else. That was it. That's why you were throwing the Brooks in a span forward. You know what I'm saying? And have to run jet sweeps with Cook and these guys. We had to be as creative as we possibly could. You running Deuce Vaughn. The guy's 4'1". He can't play. He's not even built for the NFL. The guy is the kid.
What about Rico? What about Rico? When I asked you about
Rico is not a bad back. He's okay. He's the best that we have. He's okay.
So
I mean, he's not a Mason, if that's what you'll ask.
No, he's definitely not. He's not.
No, he's not.
Mason.
He's not. We don't have a Mason. No, we don't have that. So that's what I'm saying. We're back. So Ferguson would have been all I'm saying is, you talk about key injuries. I think Ferguson should be an honorable mention, as Scrap said with AJ Brown. I know AJ Brown obviously is the better player and the top 5 receiver in the league. But Ferguson is the top 5 tight end in this league.
AJ Brown. I wasn't even going to mention him in my explanation for us losing. He didn't have no bearing on us winning or losing last night. No, go ahead. Ferguson would have got you 10 more points.
Ferguson would have got you 10 more points. Yeah. Let me talk about what the Niners did. The Niners lost to Minnesota. And I think part of it is there are certain teams that match up well, given schemes, schematically understanding what a team wants to do and try to prevent that team from accomplishing it. I think there is still some rust. There is still us having the ability to gel together. I think Mason still with 20 carries, 100 yards. I think that's positive. When I look at the team and I look at that loss, in the grand scheme of things, it's just going to be a speed bump to our season. It's not a defining loss as I look at it. What I see is the ability for us, once again, and I've said this coming into the season, it's going to take a few weeks for Ayuk to come up to speed. And now that Debo is out, you're going to see that Ayuk is going to step into that role that he's been, the number 1 receiver and the best option from the wide receiver standpoint. Now, someone said to me, I don't understand. Debo is such a dynamic player, which I totally agree with. But why do you need Ayuk if you have Debo and you have Kittle and you have all these other people? Because injuries are always as great as Debo plays, and he had a good game statistically,
very good game. Yeah,
really good game. Statistically on Sunday, an injury, the injury that now you have a calf strain and you have to be out probably 2 weeks. Thank God he's not going on IR or anything. But let's say he's out for 2 weeks. You need the best ability is availability, and you need consistent people that don't, to the best of their ability, don't get hurt and are in the game. And that's the reason why I do foresee that this probably will be the last season with Debo. I think they're going to move off of him because of the salary. It has nothing to do with his dynamic play. He is a great player.
Yeah, he structured his contract though, so I mean, he's not going to hurt them. I mean, I still think
restructuring it. No, he's still getting something like restructuring it doesn't change how much he's getting a year. I think he's getting $23 million a year.
Yeah, but I mean, in this grand scheme of thing, when you look at the market for good receivers, that's really not a big. Y'all tried to trade for Jefferson. I mean, even though that's a different quality player, but what I'm saying is, when CMC comes back, if you really want to talk about injuries, and we know Debo has an injury history, but when CMC is there, a lot of the load comes off Debo. Y'all overutilized Debo these last couple of weeks because you had no other choice. As you put it, Ayuk has no legs right now. Okay, which is that's really. I mean, it's you can mention it. It's an observation, but I mean, a lot of guys have not really played. No one's played. Like the top receivers in the league didn't play in preseason. They did play in they had the OTAs, they had training camp. Ayuk missed that. So I'm not saying there's no merit to what you're saying there.
There is merit to it.
But Debo's carrying the load because CMC is out and Ayuk is not up to speed. So who else y'all got between him and Kittle? That's all you got. Yeah, so he's going to get hurt.
Well, I don't agree with the philosophy that they should have immediately put Debo into 55 jet sweeps to get. Now, that is something to spark the offense and to get the momentum rolling, right? When you start to kind of bludgeon the defense with the battering ram that Debo is. But I think Mason has been effective. So why not utilize that and maybe do some type of motion to get Debo open down the field? Some type of but I don't think that they should have immediately put him in the backfield and brought him back into how they were playing him prior to McCaffrey coming. I think that was a mistake. And as a result, I'm not saying that they overused him. I do agree with that because if Mason has been effective, he is. I think there is only one more running back in history that their first 2 games, they averaged over 100 yards rushing. And I want to say this real quick. I don't know if you guys know this. Who's leading the league in passing yards? Anyone have an idea?
Are we doing that for real?
I'm asking. It's week 2.
In week 2? Are we going to talk about? We should not say anybody talking about anyone leading anything in the NFL in week 2.
Can I guess Purdy?
I think so. I think he is. I think he has 550 yards in 2 weeks. Which
the big brain.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Listen, I will say this: it was a loss, but we have not been successful playing in Minnesota, and this dates back, right? I think Jefferson is a fantastic receiver, obviously, and but this is the thing: after you play us, you get your pound of flesh, but we also get our pound of flesh. Now he's dealing with a hamstring injury or some type of quad injury, and we don't know if he's going to be sidelined after that. So, yeah, you may win the battle, but you lose the war, right? So I think the 49ers will be smart. Our next 3 opponents this week, we have to go in looking to demolish. Do not play with LA at all. And they're decimated.
Without Poole, you might. It should be
because the Rams, Cooper Kupp too. They don't have Puka Nacua or Cooper
Kupp too. So you should. You'll punch down and beat them up. Yeah, because they got nothing to offer.
Beginning of this season, you were saying that they were the ones to watch out for in our division.
Well, because if Rams are fully healthy, I think they're a team to be reckoned with. They started out slow even last year. We didn't know what Puka was going to be, but we saw as they progressed, they ended up being a playoff team. I mean, we beat the brakes off them in Dallas, and then they are going into the playoffs. So, I mean, again, that's why we say what we say about week 2. Week 2, we still don't even know what our teams are per se without using last year's knowledge.
I actually know what my team is.
We know what 3rd and 3 is.
I know exactly what my team is.
I think I do know. I can confidently say in week 2 that my team is better than both.
No, but what I'm saying is with this iteration of your team, right? Our teams are looking. I mean, the core of what our teams are, right? Your AJs, your Jalen Hurts, you got your Purdy's, you're gonna have your CMCs, right? So, and then you got Dak and CD. We know the core is what it is. We know what to expect from those guys, right? I think that's fair to say. But what I'm saying is, as the season matriculates, we don't know. We're all dealing with some new. Y'all got new coordinators. Both of your teams got new coordinators, right? You got to see how that's going to fit in, huh?
You too.
Yeah, we do too. Yeah, we do too. With Zim. Yeah, you're right. We got a new coordinator, so we got to see how that's gonna affect things in terms of play calling, how they're using our personnel. And to your point, D, well, I won't say to your point, but I want to make a point to something you had said about Debo. I'll say this, real quick. Listen, Shanahan is not going to go conventional and just give Mason the ball and let him run like a regular running back. He's doing that, but he's doing that as an offset to what y'all really do. If Shanahan is going to use Debo in all these different type of outfits, because that's just how he is wired to run his offense, you're not going to ever get away from that. So he's going to run Debo on the ground because he wants the motion. He wants to, confuse defenses with a lot of different sets and all kinds of formations. That's just what he does. So he's not going to go conventional and say, well, let me preserve Debo and let me just kind of use a conventional method to beat a team. He's not going to do that. You know what I'm trying to say? He's not going to do that.
I think they could utilize play action and scheme players open, use check, Mason, Kittle, Jennings. There are skill position players. And I think if you're going to have injuries and they're not season-ending injuries, it is best for it to happen early.
Yeah, I agree.
Best for it to happen early. We're going to get our players back down the stretch when it matters, and they'll have an opportunity to get in game shape in time for the playoff push, and trying to try to make it to the Super Bowl, right? So, was it a great win? Was it a great loss? It was a loss that we shouldn't have sustained. We had some opportunities that we didn't take full advantage of. It wasn't. I think I was pleased by the fact that kind of Purdy's arm was a little more alive than it was week 1. I think he'll get better with time. And now that more is being
good, his numbers weren't bad at all.
And now that more is being asked of him, he's going to have to shoulder the responsibility more. I think they're going to pass more. I think they're going to scheme. I mean, Shanahan's a master schemer, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. And I think the fact that Mason has been showing that he can handle, number one,
Mason
the RB1 workload. Week 1, 28 carries. Week 2, 20 carries, 20 touches. I don't know how many he actually caught, but I know he got the ball handed off to him.
One reception for 4 yards,
So I think that already shows that he can be a bell cow. He could slide right into that CMC role. Is he as dynamic as CMC? Of course not. No. But if he continues to put up 100 yards a game, it gives us a fantastic chance to be competitive and actually, be in good position to win our division and win the NFC by the time we get Persol, CMC, Debo. Imagine all of those players that you have that are, good players on other teams that teams would love to have. You're waiting for them just to get healthy, these little nicks and stuff that they're dealing with to get back to full strength. I think the 49ers are positioned well and are in a good position to once again defend the NFC.
I'll say these 2 quick things, though. You did give up 6 sacks. That's big. Purdy was under a lot of pressure. 6 sacks is a lot. And your defense didn't look great, D. Didn't look great. Ty Chandler had 82 yards on 10 carries. That's quite. And you lost to Sam Darnold. I'm just wanting to put that out there.
No, yeah, we did. We lost to him. That's fine. It doesn't. That
and he had really good numbers, by the way. He put up really. He was very, very efficient.
He was
really good numbers. So I mean that's just but again, it's week 2, and when it's you. I think you said some things to kind of.
No, that's cool. We did lose. Did you guys lose to Tom Brady Sunday?
We actually gave Tom Brady his final L.
No, I'm saying, did you lose to Tom Brady in his prime Sunday?
In his prime on Sunday, Tom, what, as an announcer, you mean?
No, I'm talking about in his prime, 2007 Tom Brady.
Yeah, we lost to Brady. Plenty of times we've lost to Tom Brady.
No, you're missing my point.
I missed.
You're talking about Sam Darnold, and we lost to Sam Darnold, and like trying to make a point that how dare you lose to the caliber quarterback as Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
Do we need to kind of bring back up the losses that you've had to quarterbacks that were less than Sam Darnold last year?
See, but see, you
see, you brought it up. You brought it up.
I brought up something that happened 48 hours ago, not something that happened a whole year ago. We talking about week 2. We're not talking about your loss on Sunday. I'm just saying you lost. No, I read you stats from Sunday's game, not last year's game. Yeah, we lost to. In fact, I think he's on your team. We lost to Astronaut Man.
Right.
He's actually your backup now.
Dobbs.
Yeah, Dobbs. We lost to Dobbs. You know what I mean? And guess what? We lost to Sam Darnold too when he was with the Jets. You know what I'm saying? And we lost to that, but we're talking about what happened 48 hours ago. That's all I'm saying. I mean,
we lost to Sam Darnold. Hey, listen, we will see. The exciting part of it is we'll see how the season unfolds. I think, and I'll pass it to Scrap after this. I think when over the next month to 5 weeks, we're going to, number one, discover, for you, Rod, you're going to discover who Purdy is. And I know no. I know
you
want
to pay him $10 a week. That's what you want to do.
We're going to discover together as a group who Purdy is, and you're going to learn the hard way
that
who Brandon Ayuk is. You're going to learn who Brandon Ayuk is.
Yeah, maybe you need to convince me.
Because now with Debo out, they're not going to. Their focus is going to be on who. They're not going to scheme for Kittle for the whole game, right? Defenses are going to focus on who.
Well, you're going to have to definitely push in the ball. You paid them bread, so you ain't going to give them like 3 targets a game. You paid them too much.
I had already said they paid him as a number 1 receiver for a reason. But now you see, you're already trying to detract from the fact that
Scrap. I'm just trying to help Donald understand, right? Did the Eagles ever try to trade AJ Brown? Did the Cowboys ever try to get rid of CD Lamb? I'm just saying, you made a aggressive.
Well, we traded for AJ Brown.
Right, you traded for him, right? Which means you wanted him, and then you paid him again.
Him, though. Then y'all drafted y'all too.
No, we drafted CD, but then you gave AJ Brown 2 contracts, right?
So let me ask you a question:
because you want AJ Brown,
if you had an opportunity, even with CD Lamb, if you had an opportunity to get Jefferson, you wouldn't at least explore it.
No, because I think CD Lamb is. I don't think
he's better than Jefferson.
No, he's not.
Okay, then. So it's an upgrade, right?
To say maybe we should go get Jefferson, and then I don't think so. But now, if you're talking about an Ayuk and a Jefferson, oh yeah, we're gonna have that conversation because there's a wide gap between those 2 players.
Okay, so then what's the? I don't see what the problem is. Is that?
But the problem is that you kept saying you think he's a number 1, but your front office clearly from
thinks that Jefferson is better. That thinks Jefferson is better. Big whoop. What does that mean?
They tried to trade him to the Steelers. Y'all tried to trade him to. It was a couple teams. Not in Minnesota. That report about Jefferson just came out the other day. We talking about the reports that we know of, where they tried to actually move Ayuk. They tried to move him.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear on what happened. They gave Ayuk an opportunity to seek a trade. That is different. Wait a minute. That is different from trying to trade him. Yeah, they're saying we're paying you this. This is the offer. If you can get more, go for it. And he got more than they were offering initially. Then they came to their senses and paid him as a number 1. That there is difference from trying to unload someone, because you can always unload somebody.
If he is a true number 1 D in the eyes of your front office and your head coach, you're not even letting him even entertain another. Ain't no way Dallas is going to let CeeDee Lamb look at any other options but staying in Dallas. Now, we can negotiate. You might not like what we offered, so we're going to come back to the table, but we're going to negotiate. But we're going to keep this in the building. The Eagles did the same thing. Ain't no way they're going to let A.J. Brown explore something else because he don't like the offer that they're giving him. You just don't. You can't do that. Okay. I'm just trying to tell you, they don't think he's a number one. They don't. Okay. They just paid him because nobody else will really want him. He didn't want to go to the other places, and so it's like, okay, we'll stop.
Does Jerry Jones feel that Dak is a franchise quarterback, or did he just pay him because he was kind of his back was against the wall?
Well, right, yeah, and he had to pay him to free up money because if you don't pay Dak, you don't free up cap space for Micah and Tyler Smith later down the line, and even maybe another one for Diggs, depending upon how he performs under his new recent contract.
You could move on from him, right?
You didn't have to extend him. But we didn't pay him. It would have been a major hit on our cap if we didn't give Dak an extension. Now, we could have let him go into free agency, but you don't have any other option there. No, but that's on record. Yes, Jerry, I don't think Jerry was fully convinced by Dak.
From the beginning. A
lot of people aren't
from the beginning. Because you let him go year 5 before you gave him his first extension.
But right? I'm not trying to say that I believe Dak should have gotten his money. Dak should be paid. I'm just looking at it from a business.
But yet he did,
You're
though,
saying
right?
Ayuk is on the level of A.J. Brown, Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, who else are the top receivers?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, all them dudes. You can't tell me.
He's a number one for his team. Yes, he is. He's a number one for his team.
Didn't think so. His team didn't think so. I'm just not telling you. I don't think
they think so. Did they pay him? Did they pay him, Ron?
They ended up paying him. It was really
all that matters.
Just like Dak got paid.
Dak got paid. But Dak didn't really look. Does his accountant care, Rod? That he
that's not the point. See, Scrap, this how you change the narrative. I'm trying to.
Y'all can always manage to argue no matter what. Y'all get.
Yeah, we will. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm trying to let D understand.
Doesn't care.
Thinking that Ayuk is a number one, and I keep trying to tell you, your team, the team that cuts his check,
is
does
Dak.
Not believe he's a number one.
Okay, and Dallas doesn't believe that Dak is a number one.
No, they don't. I don't think.
He's the top quarterback in the league. So does it really matter?
But my point is
he better than Mahomes? Is he better than Mahomes?
Oh, Dak? No, he's not. Nobody.
Is he better than Joe Burrow?
No.
Is he better than Jordan Love?
I don't know. It remains to be seen. We got to see.
Okay. Is he better than he's better than Tua. Is he better than let me think of another quarterback.
Okay.
Anybody? No, I'm just thinking of anybody in that 55 million. He's making 5. He's making 15.
He's better than Deshaun and Kirk Cousins. He's better than, I don't think Derek Carr is that much better than Dak Prescott. I think Prescott is still better. The only quarterback you could arguably say maybe better than Dak Prescott is clearly Mahomes. Josh Allen would be another one.
And he's making more than Josh Allen.
Yeah, but that'll change. I mean, we know the market changed. Next year, Josh Allen's going to get his bread. Listen, the market is what it is. I mean, we know that. I'm not even talking about
how come that's
I'm talking about the fact that they took effort to want to trade him. That's the point I'm trying to make. If he's the number one,
and I'm trying to explain to you that they did not take effort. They gave him an opportunity to see that what they tried to do was they tried to do a Jerry Jones tactic. Oh. Well, go and test the market if you think you're worth that. And there were multiple teams that wanted him for that and more. Don't forget that the Steelers wanted him. Don't forget that the Patriots wanted him. But he chose not to go to those teams because they're not contenders. They're bottom feeders. So is it about winning or is it about getting the bag? And he chose, and luckily they came to the meeting of the minds, and he was able to get a deal that he felt was good enough and worked towards what he felt he was worth. And the 49ers could live with paying him that. So that's how it happened. You're acting like they were actively shopping him. That is not the truth.
D. To give him an opportunity to look for another deal from another team, though they paid him, those teams were willing to pay him more than what the 49ers were. He didn't go to those teams for those reasons you stated, which I understand, because the quarterback situations at those teams are not stabilized, right? So the 49ers technically, then probably most likely, did the 49ers, and so the 49ers, and you could refresh me on this, did the 49ers pay him what the Steelers and Patriots was willing to offer him?
I think he wanted top
I'll
five.
have to look it up again and see.
I think he wanted top 5 money. I think out of
which he ended up getting, it seems. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Patriots might have offered him slightly more. They might have offered him something like $32 million a year. But who's going to Drake May and whoever? You're not going there. Why would you want to go to that team? If it's about just getting the bag, a good receiver, a great receiver can always go to a bottom feeder team, right? That doesn't benefit you. But if you have aspirations of winning something and you can stay with a team that you have chemistry with the quarterback, that all matters. And that's why I think, as much as you think $23 million isn't a big deal, if you can draft because there's going to be a trading of places. Purdy is going to get paid, but then they're going to have to take that money elsewhere. And why wouldn't you take it from a receiver? Although he's valuable, there is going to be some type of injury that takes place throughout the season. So that $23 million could now go to what Purdy is looking for. You can get, if Pearsall works out, Pearsall is getting pennies on the dollar in comparison to what Debo is getting paid. You have Cowing. You have other receivers that if they step up, they're going to replace them. And next, they're going to be in the market for a tight end. I don't care if Kittle's a Pro Bowler. They need to get cheaper.
You should, because he's getting long in the tooth either. But I mean, the way you made it seem like as if Kittle is not producing. He's still a
No. I've never said he doesn't produce. It is about dollars and cents. And it's about time. Hopefully, Jerry Jones learns something about that. That is you guys' problem.
What would that be?
You wait too long and overpay. Or
we do.
You wait too long or overpay, or you stay loyal to people that you draft instead of saying, okay, it's time to move on.
Yeah,
we're not going to do that. And we're not going to put our franchise, pretty much mortgage our franchise to pay Brock Purdy $60 million a year. You think that's what he's going to get paid? He's not going to get paid that. He's not going to go from $800,000 to $60 million a year. Not going to happen.
So you mean
this will not happen?
I know we got to get the scrap.
Even if he wins the Super Bowl.
No way.
I was trying to be quiet.
Can't get to another Super Bowl
over here.
Won't happen.
You don't think he's going to be a top 5, top 3 paid quarterback?
Yeah, top 5, top 8. Yeah, sure.
What?
But it's a long way from being quote unquote Mr. Irrelevant to being a top 5 paid quarterback. It will not happen. It will not happen.
You can't judge that man on where he came in the draft after he clearly superseded that draft position by leaps and bounds. It ain't like he did
by 200 and something positions. Come on, Rod. No, he will not. He's going to get paid a significant. He's going to get a significant raise.
What? So what
I think
$40 million. It's a $40 million contract.
No, well, I think it depends on what moves we make, but I don't think he might get. I would think 45 to 50 mil. He's not getting more than that. He's not.
All right, we're
gonna see. We're gonna see about this.
We're gonna see.
Okay,
we're gonna see. Woo! We're gonna see.
Because think about this. You have to think, and then we're going to scrap. You got to think of the mindset of Shanahan. He's made non-mobile quarterbacks thrive, MVPs, right? In Atlanta, he made a non-mobile quarterback an MVP of the league. He took Jimmy Garoppolo and got him to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's made Mullins look really good. Like if you take certain quarterbacks and it's proven that in your system, he's not going to then at the hurt of the team to hurt the team. He's not going to then say, I'm going to pay this. We're not going to be the Cowboys of the West. We're not going to pay one quarterback and be beholden to 2 positions. And then the rest of our team, we got to let them go because we can't afford them and they don't fit under the cap. We're going to be cap savvy. We're going to make sure that we have our skill position players in, and we're not. Brock will get paid more. Nah,
he will get paid. Yes, he will. Thank you, Briggs. He's going to get, if he gets the Niners to an NFC Championship game and gets the Niners into a Super Bowl and plays well and doesn't lose it for them.
I disagree.
Listen, it ain't no way.
Garoppolo
lost the Super Bowl for y'all. Garoppolo lost a Super Bowl for y'all. It's good. Yeah. You got him to a Super Bowl, but he was the reason why you lost as well. And you lost in the championship game 2 against the Rams because of your quarterback play. So if you don't pay Brock and there's a standstill with Brock and you can't get him in camp and you can't pay him next year, because this is the year after this year that y'all going to have to pay him, right? If he doesn't get paid, where you going to go? Who y'all bringing in? You going astronaut man's going to play?
No.
Well, who's going to play? You going to draft the quarterback and you're going to think you're going to another Brock Purdy again all over? And your system is that great that you're going to get somebody else in there to play as good. And remember, this man single-handedly carried that Niner. Your team was dead to rights against Detroit. Okay. Dead to rights. And if it wasn't for Brock Purdy in that championship game, carried him and Jennings.
So let me get this on the record. Brock Purdy is going to go from making $800,000 to $900,000 a year to making $60 million, $65 million,
if he gets to a
million.
Super Bowl, yes, he will.
Will not happen.
If y'all get,
I don't think Shanahan's ego will allow that to happen.
If y'all have a very fluctuating season and you get into the playoffs and y'all lose or he gets hurt or something, then maybe. But D, if he does what he did last year, this year, it's over. He did. He did.
I agree.
It was not for that young kid. Y'all would not.
I don't think Shanahan is going to put him over the team.
What do you think, Scrap? CD Branch's action. What do you, Scrap? That's how you can lead us in. Give us your take on this,
right.
And then you can tell us. Tell us
what to blend in with the furniture. So hopefully y'all argue all the time out, and I wouldn't have.
No, I want to. We got time on that. We have another year or so, and we have a couple of franchise tags. We got stuff. We got ways, and this time on Purdy. Let's talk about the Eagles. Give us your take on the Eagles debacle.
My turn. All right. Well, earlier you said we were going to, explain our distinctive teams, right? We put distinct in distinctive. You hear me? And I sat there. And I really sat there and let y'all guys duke it out because I can't throw no insults. Because in the sports Bible it says, "Let the team without a loss cast the first insult." I mean, I can't say nothing to either one of y'all because we lost too. But what I will say, is this: it seemed like whoever called a running play a pass play in a clear running situation. Was trying to be the smartest dummy in the room. Like, it was simple, cut and dry. Like, on that drive, we can go back to the field goal that we should have kicked earlier in the game. Because my whole thing is, okay, you're home. It's your home opener. And in any game, really, unless it's like, in the middle of the game and y'all got like a tempo going and momentum going. You see what I'm saying? Then you go for it on fourth, but when there are points to be had, you just take the points. It's not that hard. It's not that complicated. You take the points when there are points available. Not to say that if we kicked the field goal, then we would have been up 4 at that time because nobody knows how the game would have played out, in the meantime, in between time, up until that last point where we decided to get really, really, really cute. But my whole thing is this. That last drive, when we after we kicked the field goal to go up, right? Don texted and said that, what's his name? Cousins is about to march him right down the field. I said, oh, no, he's not. This, that, and the third. And the defense made the plays that they had to. I told Don, that play where he missed that guy wide open, that should have been the game. Like, theoretically, that should have been the game. When he missed that guy wide open, that should have been the game. Like, Saquon was apologizing for dropping the ball and saying he should have put the defense in that position. The defense shouldn't have been back on the field at all. Like, correct. It's not. I don't blame. I mean, we can say the defense sucks or whatever and all that, but that was one drive too many for them. They shouldn't have been back out there. Now they should have ran the ball. Like, everybody knows they should have ran the ball. Everybody but the guy that called that play. My whole thing is that last drive. It seemed like every time Barkley looked at the ball, he got 7 yards. Right. He could have gave him the ball. He could have crawled for the 3 yards we needed for it. We didn't even have to score. We could have just got the first down, and that would have been the game. I mean, right or wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
They were out of time.
It was out of timeouts. Yeah.
We're out of timeouts.
Right.
We just ran the ball 2 times. They make them burn their timeouts. And then in like a very short 3 yard, you can call it a long 3. He gets 2 yards. You let the clock run down. And even if you don't kick the field goal, then do a tush push. Because, all right, you don't get it. They're on like roughly like the 5 or 7 yard line. Now they got to go 93 yards instead of, giving them upwards of almost 2 minutes to go 70 yards.
Correct.
And then you go to the prevent defense. I told Don before we came on, the only thing the prevent defense does is prevent you from winning the game.
Exactly.
It's like
nobody plays it.
It's like I wasn't mad after it because I'm like, you know what? I've seen this millions of times. I've seen us do this millions of times. So I can't even sit there and act like I'm surprised. I can't even be mad. I mean, I'm like, of course they lost it. Why would they not do the smart thing and just, keep possession of the ball, line up in a victory formation after a first down? And then, I could have been the guy on here giving you guys therapy and not punching down, but just,
Yeah, you would have been the therapist for today.
Yeah, he would have been the therapist.
He would have been the therapist.
I could have had the option to punch down, but I could have been also there just to uplift you guys. But instead, I'm sitting in the bottom of the barrel with you guys, like crabs in a barrel. And I just feel like when that happened, because y'all knew what y'all were going to get from me today. I was
we knew, man. That's why I was so glad
man. On y'all. When you sent that gift last night, the guy in the car, like he went, I laughed so hard because I'm like, they just dodged. I ain't gonna even say a bullet. Y'all just dodged a bomb. You hear me?
Yeah.
A bomb. Y'all just dodged.
Oh my God.
You know what?
Me and D would have got the business today.
Oh, forget about it. That's why everything always works out in the end.
Like, you know what? I'm like, last year, me and Don was the last undefeated team, and his team lost, and I was ready to dance, and then we went and lost too. I said, you know what? We only lost because y'all lost. It's beyond X's and O's now. It's just a matter of smart and stupid, and that play was extremely stupid. I don't care if he would have caught the ball. I would have said, yeah, he caught the ball. I would have been happy, but I'm like, that was too risky. You got to run the ball. Stop putting the ball in harm's way. And I'm gonna say this, and it might raise y'all eyebrows, like probably above y'all heads. I'm just about done with this quarterback, man. It's like he keeps putting the ball. Yes, Jalen Hurts. I'm about done with this dude, man. He keeps putting the ball in harm's way. Like, who was he throwing the ball to on the last play, other than Jesse Bates? Because it looked like that's Mike. It looked like that's who he was throwing the ball to. Like, I can't do this. Like, y'all know me. I'm loyal. I'm a homer, but they're not going to put me through what they put me through last year. I almost came in here with my Sixers jersey on because as soon as that game was over, my first Facebook post was, bring on the Sixers. Like, they're not going to put me through. They're not. And it's so frustrating with football, right? Because basketball is my favorite sport. But it's so frustrating with football because you got to wait a whole week to try to right your wrong. He said, well, I was telling D, Kenneth, that I heard on the radio, they asked him, about the last play. He just said that, Kellen's the offensive coordinator. And he basically told them, don't try to stir nothing up. He's the offensive coordinator. So Don thought that he was trying to throw
Kellen Moore.
Throw Kellen Moore under the bus. But I'm like, I mean, like he said, it's the second week of the season, but
I forgot that Kellen Moore. I forgot he was your OC. So he called that play last night. That was Kellen, huh?
I don't care who called it. Whoever called it should be the person that's in the Big Dom, the person that's in charge of slaps. They should let him twist. You know how they got that new sport where you go like this and you tee it up? They should let him get a nice arm length and let him spin all the way. Remember the toys used to spin and then they spin around? You keep spinning Big Dom until you hear the click and then like click, 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 and then let him go and let him just slap. Let him just slap the mustard out of somebody, man. Because that play was just like, it's indicative of the Eagles. It's indicative of our history.
That's true.
It's indicative of everything that is Eagle related for us to choke in that situation. We literally snatched defeat from the jaws of victory last night. Like, we literally said, wait a minute, is that a win? Well, let me get that L right there. Can I have that? No, the W is better for you. No, yeah, I know, but I would rather the L. And that
there was a 0.07 chance to win when you guys were up with that amount of time for Atlanta, and so less than 1% chance.
I think that was just for people like you guys to like post. Like it was 100% chance that we wasn't going to win that game when we kicked that field goal. Like it was an 0.whatever% chance of us.
Well, I mean, you still could have if you change your defensive scheme. Y'all should have put pressure on Kirk Cousins instead of being
pressure.
In a
what? How do we pressure a guy that can't run? His leg is messed up. He can't run. There was nobody pressuring him.
Where's Jalen Carter?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He chased them once or twice, but listen. Where was he? Where was the dude we just got from the Jets that's supposed to be this guy? He had like 9 sacks last year. Where was Huff? Where was anybody coming? Where was Sweat? Where was anybody on defense? Okay, where were they? They were out there, but they weren't out there. You see what I'm saying? Like we blew what should have been a win. Like it's no other ways around it. We should have won that game. And
no, you should have. You had the game won.
Should have.
Yeah, we didn't. It wasn't even a dominating thing. I don't want to hear. Well, if AJ Brown would have played, it don't matter. Like
you didn't even really need him.
Exactly. Who we had out there was more than enough to win that game. And
y'all ran for 5 yards a pop between Hurts and Saquon.
Barkley.
So
that's what the last
had a good running game going.
That's what I'm saying. The last drive before they threw the ball, every time Barkley touched the ball, it was between 7 and 9 yards. It seemed like every time he got tackled, the ref was going like,
he had a 4.3.
First down. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So you trust him from all the way back there, like on the other side of the field, to march us down, but you don't trust him when we only need 3 yards. Like,
right.
Like who? Yeah. Like what are we doing here? Like, what are we really
quarterback
doing?
Draw is what I would have called. I would have called the quarterback draw in that play. Something would hurt.
Barkley the ball. Just run. Yeah. I don't care. Just run the ball. Like run the ball.
You had two. They had 2 plays, right?
Yeah, you could even. That's 4 down territory. If anything, yeah. 4 downs to get 3 yards, you get another yard, then you push the last final yard. Yeah.
No, Neil. That was it.
No.
Well, they needed the first.
4th down. It would have been 4th down. If we would have got the first down, then you kneel. But
that's what I'm saying. He said run the draw and then push for the first down.
You had right. So if it's 3rd and 3, say you did a quarterback draw, you just ran Saquon straight, and say he only got 2 yards. Now it's 4th and 1. So you just push that 1 yard,
and then the game's over. Then you kneel.
Yeah, right. That's what I was saying earlier. That's what I was saying earlier. But what I'm saying is that you made me lose my train of thought. You know my brain ain't that big. But no, it's like it could like I told Don, I was listening to Wu-Tang. Could it all be so simple? I was listening to that all day. It could have been so simple, man. Like sometimes 1 and 1 equals 2, man. Every time 1 and 1 equals 2. It's like I'm just sitting there watching it, and I'm like,
that's Kellen Moore for you, man.
I don't think it's Kellen Moore. I don't think it. I just want to say this. I do want to highlight this. Someone put the Eagles on upset alert on our last show.
We're not going to do that. Okay, we can say that, but
the first upset alert. Really? The first upset alert of the season.
You said that they could lose. Did you say that?
I did. I said I put them on upset alert.
And then after he did that, I went back and switched my pick, and I ended up being right. So.
Yeah, being petty. He did it. He was being petty.
In your fantasy, you picked the Eagles to. The Falcons to win.
So at first he picked the 49ers to completely decimate the Vikings.
Oh, okay.
And so when I did my pick, I put them on upset alert, and I said Drake London was going to get off, and I said. Bijan, all the that balled out. I said Kirk Cousins was going to have a game.
Best players, like I could have said that.
Bijan rocked, dude.
Okay. As far as your upset alerts, right? I do believe last year it was like a 6-week stretch where you kept picking upset alert.
Well, I did. I don't remember. That was last year, but I do remember this year. Oh, and the first upset alert of this season, I won. I was on point.
I tell you what.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you picked the Falcons.
Wow. You and your upset alerts are like a broke clock. They're right twice a day. Broke clock is right twice a day.
Well, listen, 15 and 2 said he only gonna have 2 L's. So those are you got your first upset alert. So you just gotta pick one more. If 15-2 is right in what he's saying, that they'll only lose.
Well, Scrap said they're only going to lose 2 games. And so I don't understand.
You can't walk it back. You can't.
How does that work out with the Dallas Cowboys? You don't play Dallas twice?
What I'm saying is, like,
right.
I don't understand. I got low blood sugar, so sometimes I get a little loopy, man.
We gave you opportunity.
We gave you an opportunity to get out of it.
No, listen.
We said, look,
I got low blood sugar, man.
Me too. I got low blood sugar.
So you understand what's going on?
All you had to do was get a little sugar packet and recant your statement. But
I had Snickers, but I didn't eat it.
You doubled down. I think, man. Listen, you doubled down on that, man. First, it was
16-1, yeah.
Then he said 15-2.
I never said that. I never said that.
We got the recording.
We have it recorded.
Y'all gonna go to the tape for me?
And Scrap, y'all got 2 big games. You on the road against New Orleans. Mm-hmm. That's a big one. And who else you guys got? You got
AJ again. Now that's a game we would have needed AJ that.
And then y'all got the Buccaneers on the road.
Yeah, so
you got the Saints and Buccaneers, man. Buccaneers.
What do you guys play?
We got Baltimore, so we're going 1-2. Because Baltimore's not going 0-3, so we're going to lose to Baltimore.
You never know. They're not that tough. I don't know why everybody's so sold on Baltimore. They're not that tough.
They're not, but we're not. We're not.
Lamar, we'll talk about this. We'll preview week 3. Lamar is going to run all. You thought Kamara was running. He's going to run.
No, I don't know if he can get any worse than Kamara. So, I mean, I don't know. Between him and what Aaron Jones did last year, I don't know if he can get any worse. Well, then again, maybe you're right, because I didn't think Aaron Jones anybody would surpass what he did.
Let me tell you, Baltimore's problem is they're not utilizing Derrick Henry. I don't know why. They might as well let the Cowboys get Derrick Henry. They're not utilizing him.
That's what I'm saying. They got a battering ram and not using them.
Yeah.
If you got a battering ram, you knock the door down. You don't knock on the door with your hand. You bust the door down. Like when I watched that first game, I'm like, why does he only have like 6 carries?
Yeah.
Is it something that I'm missing? Like, it's just, but I can't worry about them. I got my own issues to go on with, man.
But I'll say this: Saquon Barkley, his odds to become the offensive player of the year went from plus 5,000 to plus 500.
Yeah, I mean,
he is playing. He is playing phenomenally. 258 yards, 3 touchdowns already. I think on 52 touches. He is playing really, really well.
He got 4. He had a touchdown last night, right?
3. He has 3 total, I think.
No, he scored 3 the first week.
Did he score Did he score yesterday?
Let me see.
He didn't score. I thought he scored a touchdown last night.
I don't think so.
Saquon, no, he did not. No, he did not
score. So 3,
Hurts and Smith.
Right. Now, let me tell you what happened. Which you gotta also, when you on the group text, you're like, yo, some stuff looks a little funny. Let me tell you, Saquon Barkley, they throw, I think, a screen to Saquon. He drops, knee is short of the goal line. Who wouldn't reward their running back and give them the ball again?
Us.
So Jalen Hurts runs it in. And so Jalen Hurts, if you want to go back to 2022 where he feels like I'm going to look at my first option and I'm going to run the ball, that's not a sustainable way to win the game.
That's why I said I'm about done with this guy, man. It's like I can't sit through this.
But on a bright note, he's engaged. He's about to be married. So congratulations.
Who's that? Jalen Hurts or Saquon?
Yeah. Jalen Hurts. He's about to be married.
I mean, but is it his fault that they lost yesterday? It wasn't his fault.
Love is in the air.
It's whoever called the plays fault. Like, it's whoever called the plays.
Tell him more.
But do quarterbacks have the power to audible out of it?
He should have audibled out of it.
Brock Purdy would never. Brock Purdy would have audibled out of it.
Punchable face.
Not talking about Brock Purdy.
Punchable face should have overrode that call and said, "No, I'm not going to do that."
Brock would have.
Not going to do that.
Brock would have audibled out of that. I even think Dak would have audibled out of that.
Yeah, Dak would have audibled out of that.
He should have audibled out of that. He should have. Wentz would have went kill. Like he would have saw. As soon as he gave him the play, he would have said that the offensive coordinator was like, "We're gonna run the halfback, roll out pass on the other end." Carson would have been like, kill. He would have did that before.
What's the quarterback that looked like he looks like Marilyn Manson? that won the Super Bowl for you guys. He would have even audible.
Nick
Foles would have audibled out of that.
We're not going to talk about royalty and like that. We're not going to talk about King.
They actually they gave him retired him. Yeah, that was nice. I thought that was
what did they do for him?
Retired him. Yeah, he retired as an Eagle.
Retired as an Eagle. Oh, I thought you said retired his number. Okay,
they're going to.
Nick Foles retired his number. Nick Foles
won a championship.
Yes, he won us a Super Bowl. Yeah, put your eyes straight. He won us a Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. That matters.
That matters.
That matters. And when you think about it,
so should the Buccaneers retire Trent Dilfer's number? Should Brad Johnson be retired with the Buccaneers because he won a Super Bowl?
If they want, that's their
prerogative. Yeah.
They can do what they want to do.
It might have sentimental value.
No, it's a low standard. It's just a low bar. I mean, I guess you only have one chip in your whole existence. Maybe, you just don't.
Oh, okay, man.
We can do that.
See that?
We can do
Come
that.
on. Yeah. At the end of the show, he wants to hit below the belt.
He's still punching
down.
The ref, you know what? Put him to the corner. Point. Ride. Point. Take the point off, man. Off his scorecard, man. He's punching below the belt.
Below the belt.
I'm just saying. I mean, Nick Foles is. Listen, I understand he could get free dinners in Philly all the rest of his life, and you definitely pay him homage. But then retire his number, put him in.
I don't know if they retired his number. I do think that they.
Or did he just retire? So he signed a one-day contract and he retired.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's different.
I'm pretty sure the quarterback that won y'all first Super Bowl's numbers retired, right?
Well, Roger Staubach's in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, but he won you your first Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So they retired his number. I mean, even though it came in the age of flying cars and people looking at.
They might have did that with the Jets. Is Joe Namath's number retired?
Joe Namath is retired. Yeah, there's no 12s on the Jets. I don't believe.
So,
no,
I mean, just because ours came
Joe's a Hall of Famer. I mean, I don't believe he should have been. His stats don't suggest.
What's Whichcourt's number?
Rodgers.
Yeah. What's Aaron Rodgers' number? I thought he was 12.
He was 12.
Is he?
Is he not playing with 12 this year?
No. I don't think he's 12. I don't think he's 12 with the. I don't know. I'm not getting into that, man. My team lost. I don't care about nobody's numbers. I don't care about nothing. All I care about is the Sixers getting ready to tip off. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, nah. I don't.
No, he's 8.
He's 8. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that maybe that was from a sentimental value.
But Roger Staubach, ultimately went on and had a Hall of Fame career. He won 2 Super Bowls, had 5 Super Bowl appearances. Nick Foles is no comparison. You don't. He
went the one and run. He went the one and won it.
His percentage is better than Roger Staubach.
1,000%. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Yeah, but usage, you don't. That's like. Shaq had a great field goal percentage because he was dunking the ball a lot.
All your common sense is leaking out the front of your head. Pull your head all the way on.
Well, it's one Super Bowl, but he won 2 more. He won 2 more than Nick. So what would you rather have, more chips in a losing percentage or 1 chip and not have gotten a chance to at least win another one?
You know what I love? Got him.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Remember when, and he knows what I'm about to say.
Yep.
We had this discussion about what would you rather have? 10 targets and 5 catches or 5 targets and 5 catches? That's the same premise. It's the same premise, right?
They talk themselves right.
Talk them right back in.
But yourself
into, as my dad would say, a trick bag. So if you talk yourself into a trick bag, as my father would say.
If you talk right, if you talk about the targets and how many catches, but then you're leaving out the one most important thing, the production. So if you got 5 targets with 5 catches, but only 15 yards versus 5 catches versus 10 targets, but you got 100 yards, then what?
Well, yeah, of course.
That's what I'm saying. So
right,
he went to 5 Super Bowls and won 2.
I think
that's better than 1 and 1.
Believe that blue is actually green. I think you actually argue that blue is actually green.
No, I would argue that. Blue. I would argue that. I'm just saying. I thought you said y'all retired Nick Foles' number. Okay, you retired him as a Jet. That was. As an Eagle. As an Eagle. Oh, that's fine. That's nice.
Really, that's what we doing.
No, I made a mistake. We were talking about the Jets in the midst of the conversation, so
we probably more than likely will retire his number if he won us our first Super Bowl. Yes, we will retire his number. Like I said, even though it came in the age of people being able to talk like this. I
mean, I don't understand. You retired Nick Foles' number, really? Okay, I got it. Wow, I got it.
Yeah,
you think a lot of Eagle fans feel that way? I want you to do a. We need to do a poll.
I would imagine.
Check with your other Eagle fans and give us a report of.
Should they retire Nick? Let's ask this question. Should they retire Nick Foles'
that guy is
number
royalty in Philly? He's royalty here. He's royalty. He won us a Super Bowl. He's royalty. It don't matter if he didn't.
And it's also you got to also factor in who he beat. Also, he beat Tom Brady. So there's a lot, and so I saw
that adds a little. It makes the argument a little bit stronger. Yeah, it strengthens the argument some.
Yes, they should. Look at CD Branch stepping in, saying
yes, they should. You retire, Nick. So that means you'll go through a whole ceremony with Nick. You be looking up when they put the wrap. Everybody's looking up like
you know what they're going to show? They're going to show him catching a touchdown in the Super Bowl. They're going to catch him. They're going to show a video, a montage. They're going to have a montage of him throwing the touchdown to Alshon Jeffrey, him catching the thing, and then they're gonna show him holding his baby with the confetti coming down, and then they're gonna retire.
But now here's how I can put a hole in the argument though.
No, you can't. Not
clearly clearly Wentz was the part of the reason why y'all even got to the Super Bowl.
He had an MVP season before he got injured.
MVP season, So Nick Foles took over for a well-oiled team that was already running well. Yeah. It ain't like I don't think he would have took y'all to the Super Bowl if he was your starter.
No, he wouldn't.
So that's my point. I'm just trying to say. So like, we're gonna retire a number over a moment.
Yeah.
But think about this. He played at a very high level in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He did. He was MVP, wasn't he? I think he won MVP.
Yes, he did. And I've had the same argument about Wentz. If he didn't have the season he had, we wouldn't have won. Like, I mean, it's people that will argue me down that Wentz sucked and we would have won it without him. And I'm like, no,
not that season. Not that season.
No,
he was playing.
I'm actually going to say their name, Jasmine. Argues me down that Wentz sucked and we would have won it. We would have did it even with what's his name, Foles at the beginning. I tried to tell her, no, we wouldn't. No. There's no way we would.
Nick Foles wasn't mobile enough for that entire season.
No.
Remember, he was a statue, but he was accurate. And I think that, he played phenomenally in the Super Bowl. So, no, I don't think so, but it doesn't matter.
What year was that? That was what? 17, 18?
17. I can't tell you what she just said to me. What she just said something about one. She hates Wentz.
That's cool. Wentz got a ring. At the end of the day, he's a Super Bowl champ too.
He did. He did.
Yeah. Like I said, so he can come to the ceremony. He can actually hand Nick whatever they give you when they retire your number and clap for him. He won't do that.
I don't think he will because they don't like Wentz, and I heard they were making shrines to Nick Foles, and they got disrespectful.
What's his name did that? The defensive guy, Howie Long's son. What's his name?
Chris Long.
Yeah, Chris Long had a shrine to Nick Foles in his locker.
I don't think
he did.
That was disrespectful.
He did. He actually did. Like, because here we don't sugarcoat stuff. We don't sit there and we don't care about people's feelings here. We like what we like. We are who we are, and we do what we do. Like we don't baby nobody here. Like, yes.
And listen, 3rd down and 3, we gonna do what we want to do. We don't run a play that you think we want to run. We don't. What? Wait a minute. I was trying to encourage you. No, they do what they do.
Got violent at the end.
No. They do what they do.
Right. You are absolutely.
We lose games we supposed to lose, and we they do it.
We're supposed to win that game. I said, like, if you look at the text, you wasn't there, Rod, but as soon as we did that dime, what did I text? That was dumb.
Yeah, it was dumb.
That was dumb.
Yeah, I had a long ministry meeting last night that went long, and then I had to run to the airport about almost 11 o'clock. My wife is coming in from New York, so I had to run to the airport. So I'm listening to the game, so I can't even respond. Yeah. I thought the game was over when CJ Garner got the stop on Bijan. I said, man,
he should have got a penalty because he took his helmet off.
He said that it flew off in the process of the hit.
I didn't see.
Like the hit, it was like not all the way down, but he could have pulled it down just as much as he pulled it up. So he could have got it.
Okay.
He could have got.
Oh yeah, he definitely.
I didn't go back to that play because NFL Network. I mean, not NFL Network with the NFL package. You can go back to the game. You go through like all the key plays, or you can get to the one. I didn't go back to the CJ Gardner plays. But I had to see for myself what happened on that 3rd and 3, and then the final drive. So I got to see that. But I thought when y'all got to stop on Bijan, I said, okay, Dad, they don't won this game. Dropped to the airport. I was like, oh. And then all of a sudden, man, as I'm listening, and I knew, I said, man, I wish I could text. But I'm flying down down there in downtown Atlanta, driving to the airport, man, because I'm down. Wifey come in the car, and soon as when y'all lost the game with the touchdown, I was so excited, man. And when she got it, I said, wait, babe, I gotta send this meme. You gotta wait, hold on. Let me send this meme. Before I get back on the road because they ain't gonna hear from me.
Right,
that's when I got back. I said, Scrap, don't worry about it. You go to bed, Scrap. I'll take it from here.
Right.
I got it.
I was at work, so it was no bed. And I had a bunch of stuff going on last night. So I couldn't even just relax. I just was sitting there all night. I wasn't even tired. I was like, oh my God.
Man, because you would have, me and D would have stood no chance today had you won that game.
You'd have showed out.
Right.
And so,
oh my God, he would have showed out.
You are absolutely right. I was going to,
Oh yeah, I ain't gonna lie. And then when the Niners lost, I was happy. I said, okay, good. I got some company. D lost. I'm good. I feel, you know what I'm trying to say.
I'm like, you know what? I'm like, oh my God, I get to be the doctor this week. I get to be the therapist. And then we lost, and I said, of course I don't get to be the therapist. What was I thinking? Like, what was I thinking, man? That they were going to actually make me happy. What was I thinking? You know? Shame on me.
Shame on you, sir. Shame on you.
Well, listen, great show, fellas.
Yeah.
Oh man, thanks for everyone that jumped on to comment. Please continue, like, share, subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube page. And someone suggested, shout out to Casey. She suggested that, like, why aren't we on TikTok? So we're working on that. We're working on getting on TikTok. And really, trying to make the most of it. What Jasmine is this? Is this? Oh, with the eyes up, that can only be one Jasmine. I think. Who's she throwing shade at? Maybe that's the Jasmine I know. Oh, that's Jasmine. I thought it was a different Jasmine.
Okay.
But shout outs to
Eagle then. Okay.
Yeah. Shout outs to everyone. Rod, Scrap, fantastic job.
No doubt.
Man, next week, week 3 is going to be, there's some really, really good games. Really good games.
Oh yeah, really good games.
Yeah. Baltimore is going to handle business. I'm looking forward to what Lamar Jackson is going to do. I'm really looking forward to that. So
who y'all got?
So hopefully
you got the Rams.
LA. We got LA. We're gonna have the business. LA.
Y'all should win.
And who do y'all have?
Don't lose that game, D. Don't be, because Scrap was talking junk about them beating the Falcons. So I'm just trying to tell you, you see how your head is cocked to the side. That's all right. Be careful.
Let's be careful.
Serious. You ain't got serious about this. You ain't got your people.
Okay.
So just know. And McVay.
So let me tell you something. We have and he is owned by Shanahan. That's first off. Also, Matthew Stafford is not mobile whatsoever, and I think he's dealing with some type of injury.
He doesn't seem to lose. Yeah, I agree.
And then you don't have Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp,
no Cup either. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
So
I would think
lose. So you
ain't gonna lose.
You better not lose, D. You better, D.
We're not gonna lose.
Van Jefferson and Tutu. Desmond Tutu go crazy, man.
Right. If Desmond Tutu, if the Archbishop Desmond Tutu Atwell goes for 300 yards, it's open. Shanahan, I'm calling for your job.
Yeah.
Now, Kyron Williams, I do have on my fantasy team. I want him to have a great game, and they still lose and get blown out. But I don't. They don't have enough weapons. They don't. They just don't.
Y'all home. Y'all in LA, and not that it really would matter.
No, I think it's in LA. I mean, it's I think it's in LA.
Like I said, it won't matter.
It won't matter.
It
won't matter. I think we'll talk about it on our next show.
Yeah, we'll get on the next show.
We're going to do. But shout out to everybody. Thanks for joining. Thanks for jumping in. Until next time, everybody. Peace.
Peace.